Ever since the ending, yes, the ending of season 4 of The Boys, I've been waiting to make this video. And yes, at the very beginning of the season and, a little bit toward the middle and stuff like that, I was a big fan of Sister Sage. And I was a big fan of, Sage. I know there's kind of derogatory, okay, that's beyond the point. I was a big fan of Sage. The character, the ability, the powers. I love the idea of being the smartest person, by the way, person in the world. And honestly, I don't even know why there's contention with that. You have Ashley literally say oh, I get you're the smartest woman in the world. No, dude, smartest person in the world. If there's nobody else that has intelligence like Sage or Sister Sage, then there is no contention. And maybe some people are sitting here basically thinking or even commenting, well, the only reason why you're making a video about this is because you're simping over her. And I'm gonna be honest, not simping over her. This isn't a video about Victoria Newman. That video is coming at another time, and that woman I simp for, okay? Now, with that said, that's beyond the point, okay? I love Sage, but I love her as a character. As a character, she is terrifying. And yes, I said it, and the title reads right. Sister Sage is more terrifying than even Homelander. And now I want to preference this with a little bit of, pizzazz, because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, if I was in the Boys universe, I would be way scareder of Homelander. But there's a reason for that, right? We've seen all these crazy things that Homelander has done, and frankly, when you're, in the verse, you probably have seen quite a few murders and crazy things that Homelander would have eventually have done in front of everyone. I mean, he literally did mow down a quote-unquote starlighter when a bottle or a can got thrown at his own son. But the idea of just murdering him, just boom, dead, right in front of everybody, that's pretty terrifying. Don't get me wrong. That is terrifying. Because at the end of the day, Homelander is a being that is all-powerful and a being that is basically gives off superhuman abilities. And it's to another level of superhuman abilities. So, of course, he's scary, just based on all that. And yes, don't get me wrong, he is an unhinged psychopath, but there is something truly terrifying about an extremely smart person that is flat out never satisfied. Yes, I'm not going to sit here and talk about the whole, stick to the eye thing. That is an interesting thing. But just to build off of that, though, it's the idea that she has to dull herself. The idea that she has to simplify the world so that she can actually enjoy things. Actually enjoy the simple things that we or me and you and other people would enjoy. Me sitting here watching YouTube. Maybe you watching YouTube right now. Maybe you're eating food. Maybe you're doing some whatever, right? You're chilling, right? She would not be able to enjoy something like this. Not even one bit she would be able to enjoy something like this. And, well, there's some people that are watching my content that don't enjoy my content at all. And for you, I appreciate your support. Now, with that said, we are talking about someone who is literally and legitimately the smartest person in the world. Now, you might be wondering, why is she so scary? Well, the end of season 4 is the reason why she's so scary. And absolutely terrifying she is. When she walks into that room, when you hear her voice, she walks in, little balloon in the hand, and is like, well, hey, Homelander, where's Ryan? Isn't this all for him? Which, let's be honest, very condescending. And she obviously didn't believe this, right? She obviously didn't think it was all for Ryan, right? But still brings the balloon and is like, well, this is cause for celebration. We won. And when Homelander's confused, this is how you know she's on a totally different plane of existence in terms of intelligence. Because he has no idea what the hell she's talking about. What are you on about? We won. We lost everything. Victoria Newman, gone. Our chances of basically bringing soups into the government, gone. My control over everything in this country, now gone. But she then looks at him and is like, nah. It's not. It is not. We won. The TV plays and the president is basically framed for the outing and, destruction, I'll say destruction, of Victoria Newman. Now, we all know what happens, but of course, the news and all the stations that are covering it don't know what actually happened. But all they know is that you have the president telling somebody that they should have basically got rid of Victoria Newman when he told them to get rid of her. And that is crazy. They were able to get that. They were able to get that documentation. She predicted that Victoria Newman would be somewhat out of the picture, you could even say. She predicted every single mess up, every single kind of like, just complete F up that Homelander was going to do, that Firecracker was going to do, that every single person was going to do. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a lot of things leading up to this. A lot of things. I mean, it all started from the very beginning. We saw how smart she was at the very, very first moment we saw her. She was talking to Homelander. She literally is telling him everything about him in a matter of seconds. She knows the deepest, darkest things that he kind of hides away. His overarching age that is currently increasing more and more and more. The fact that his stylists are dyeing his hair more often, that his prostate is bigger because he's peeing more, and all of these other things. And it's kind of insane, the kind of deduction process that she goes through. And we see it more and more throughout this time because we see her frame Starlighters. And by the way she frames them, it's just cynical. It's just perfect. And yes, I know it sounds like I'm just gassing her up, I'm just simping for her, but the fact is, that's terrifying. That she knows the way these, monkey-brained people in a way work. That's the way she looks at us. She looks at us like capybaras. I mean, literally, she calls Ashley, right? Says, why do you let her talk to you that way, Deep? She is literally a capybara by DNA. You are superior to her. And it's insane that she just flat out says this, and she truly believes it. I mean, we know that she does not lie. Like, she tells the truth and the utter truth basically all the time, unless, she needs to lie, right? Unless she needs to actually lead somebody in a specific direction. But for the most part, she tells the complete and utter truth. And that is wild, the way she looks at normal human beings or beings without superpowers. I mean, it is completely insane. And honestly, the Starlighters thing, it was a very simple plan, but it was executed perfectly, right? It was a beautiful plan. And then the only reason why it didn't fully work the way they wanted it to work was because A-Train leaked more information, which, by the way, she knew A-Train was the leak the entire time. Now, for some of the boys fans that are out there, I'm sure some of you were like, oh, I know for sure she knows, right? It was so obvious. Like, she knew the whole time. It was so obvious to her who it was, but she also needed to make sure that she didn't basically have other people F up the plan that she was creating. And that's what makes her so terrifying too, because she understands every single person around her. From Homelander to Firecracker to Ashley to the Deep to Black Noir, every single person, she understands and knows them maybe even better than they know them damn selves. And it is pretty freaking scary. Like, she literally brings up the fact that, I knew you were going to mess up, Homelander. Like, I knew that you were going to do things like, your way, right? You were going to do your thing. And she even references that, right? But then she literally would still fulfill the plan, do it perfectly, and get him exactly where he wanted to be. And when she hands over that phone and she says, I got you, boo. I told you we were going to win. I got you. That, oh my goodness, that sent me reeling. Like, I was like, no freaking way. This girl is different. She is a different monster of a soup. She is on another stratosphere in terms of calculation, in terms of deduction, everything. And she literally tells Homelander, you're welcome. I got it. And which Homelander, while she's walking away, asks her, why? Why would you do this? Why would you help me? I threw you away like garbage. I just was selfish and all these things. And this is the first time, really, I know he didn't say the whole selfish thing, but I mean, this is the first time you actually hear a bit of like concern out of Homelander in a way, a bit of questioning. Like Homelander was genuinely like, well, I threw you away. Like, why would you even help me? Like, he's never had somebody unconditionally, without strings attached, actually help him. But guess what? There were strings attached. And those strings were literally created by Sister Sage herself. Because guess what? She wanted to know, she wanted to figure out, and she wanted to see if she could freaking do it. I almost said it. I almost said the F word. I'm not going to lie. But she wanted to just see if she could do it. That's what she said. She said the only reason why I did it was just to see if I could. And damn, she did it. That's what, honestly, out of everything in the finale, out of everything, from Victoria Newman to all of these crazy things that happened in that finale, when Sister Sage walked in that room, when she walked over with that balloon, and at the very end of it, when she said that she wanted to see if she could do it, that set me off the freaking rails, man. That was absolutely insane. And you might be saying, well, you're just ranting right now about basically all the crazy stuff that Sister Sage did, but what makes this more terrifying than Homelander? Well, yes, she doesn't have the powers. She doesn't have the super strength to rip you in half. Well, maybe she does, but she doesn't necessarily have, super strength, super speed, nothing like that, nothing crazy. But what she has, well, couple things that she has that is greater and more terrifying than anybody else, more terrifying than strength, more terrifying than speed, more terrifying than a killing instinct. What's more terrifying about her is that she is smarter than everyone. She can predict your every last move. Everything that you're thinking, she's already thought 10 steps ahead. She's thought of every pathway that you could possibly take. She's thought of it and some, which is terrifying. Now, there's even a more terrifying aspect to this, and that's she wants to find something that doesn't make her feel numb. She does this. She made all of this anarchy, all of this chaos, a dark day in the United States of America was all, created via the plan of Sage. And she was happy about it. That's what gets her stimulated. That specifically, doing something that insane, doing something along the lines of getting Homelander in right next to the president, getting Homelander in the government, getting Supes all control, is something that she found stimulating. And that was the whole reason why she did it. Because guess what? You could be cooped up in this house all on your own, reading your books and rotting away, or you can do something that's going to matter. And to her, all she needed was something to challenge her mind, and there was no going back. And you can see the statistical side of her, the sadistic side of Sister Sage, all written all over her face. She was happy. She wasn't satisfied, but she was stimulated. It was as if she basically felt extremely satisfied and stimulated for a moment. And then at the very end of it all, what does she say to Homelander? What's next, Blondie? Because I'm here for it. That is scary. And to wrap it all up, all I have to say is for those who work with psychopaths, who team with psychopaths, and who are allianced with psychopaths are normally just as psychotic as them. So at the end of the day, I truly believe that Sister Sage is more terrifying than Homelander. Maybe just in a completely different way, but still is just as, if not more terrifying than the only man that flies in the sky, being that of Homelander. Now, with that said, if you enjoyed, show some love, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. I want to make this clear. Like, I say this quite a bit. A lot of these videos aren't made for some crazy like production. I make a lot of these videos as a way for me to rant about certain things that I see, that I do. Yes, could they be perfectly scripted out and all this stuff? Of course. But I like the idea that it's just me talking, talking to one of the boys, basically. And I know I get some of those comments quite a bit where people are like, you really need a script or this and that. It's like, brother, that's not going to happen. Like, I'm not doing that. There's no point. And this is not what the point of this channel is. I'm a comic casual, by the way, comic casual. I'm not an expert. If I was an expert, it'd be different. I agree. But I'm not one of those other people that are extremely educated with these topics. I like talking about it. I like ranting about it. And that's what these videos are. So if you enjoy them, please show some love to the video. But as always, I am a comic casual, so I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, the YouTube algorithm and YouTube itself believes that you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.